As they say, what gets measured gets managed. My name is Shannon Merlot, and in this masterclass we are talking all about what are key performance indicators or KPIs and why they are essential for the growth of your business. First up, why are we talking about KPIs? When you have a metric of success and you regularly track to it, there are a couple of extraordinary things that occur. Performance actually improves almost without anything happening. I've seen it more than once where clients who track performance measures outperform those who don't every single time, even if they're not focused on it. Why else? KPIs tell you as a leader and your team what's important in the business, and by virtue of that, your team are held accountable to the achievement of your organisational objectives. This makes our leadership easier, and performance management has greater tangibility for your team. A really simple example is that you might have a revenue target, and that's made up of a number and certain value of sales. Your sales team, or you, will have new business sales targets and existing customers to manage, which will contribute to that revenue. If your sales team aren't meeting their targets or key performance indicators, your business is at risk for not achieving the revenue figure that you set. And assuming you're tracking regularly, you can put mitigation strategies in place. Makes sense? Simple, right? I've mentioned why that's important, but what is a key performance indicator? Basically, it's defined as something that you measure that gives you an indication of progress towards a specific intended result. It's something that we measure that defines success. Now, that's a really broad statement, because what success is to you and what you are going to use to measure can change depending on your goals and what's most important to you at this phase of your business. When you're considering what to measure, you'll want to factor in lead measures and lag measures. What is this? A lead measure might be the number of networking events that you attend, the number of business cards you pick up at the networking event, and the number of coffee chats that you have. Following that, you'll track the lag measure, which is the number of sales and the revenue that's generated from those coffee chats. So the lead measure tracks the steps prior to the lag measure, which is ultimate success. The reason you want to track lead and lag measures is that you'll be then able to work out how many networking events convert to how many coffee chats, at what conversion gives us X number of sales for X amount of revenue. Lead measures are helpful because they give you and your team key performance indicators of the activities that lead to success, not just success in and of itself. Moving on, what should you track and analyze in your business? There's really no right or wrong in what specifically to track in your organization. The answer will be different based on your objectives, goals, the size, what you sell, i.e. whether it's a product or a service business, the stage of your business, and whether you've got team members. For example, I've worked with clients who don't want to track their revenue specifically as a key performance indicator. They are actually more interested in the number of people coming in the door and the number of purchases each person makes. For them, the revenue is a byproduct of more people coming in and spending more money. I've also experienced clients who track only one whole organisational KPI because when that's managed, everything else works out. For example, a fantastic key performance indicator is the number of referrals from an existing customer. And the reason that this is a great indicator is that if we are delivering fantastic customer service and experience and providing a quality service at a good price, then our customers are going to be happy to talk about us. If the number of referrals dies down, that's an indicator that we need to work out why our customers aren't talking about us. What KPIs you track will also be dependent on the type of business you run. Often, when you're charging time for money, tracking the budgeted hours to actual hours is important because that determines your profitability. If you're in an accounting firm, you'll be tracking percentage of billable hours because if your team only works, say, 60% of their time on billable work, there's a risk that you're not going to be profitable. How do you set key performance indicators for your team? One of the things I believe gets missed is a link between your organisational goals and objectives and your individual team members' performance indicators. When you're able to give your team the broader understanding of what the goals of the business are and how their performance is tied to that organisational performance, then there's a connection between why they are turning up every day to do what they do. The benefit is also that when you make your team part of the process, then they're going to be inherently on your bus and help you to achieve what you want to achieve. Is there a standard metric that everyone should be measuring? It really does depend on lots of forces, as I've mentioned before, and absolutely what the goals of the organisation is. But I do think that often people assume that revenue is the most important thing to track. It's not really, because you can have great revenue, but your business cannot keep going for a long period of time if it's not profitable. You will want to track your gross profit, and you could go further to consider your budgeted profit to actual and your profit margin as a percentage of sales. Finally, are there any things that you need to be aware of? Yes. Don't be unwieldy in your key performance indicators. You'll want to track success, but not to the detriment of your business as usual activities. If you don't have any KPIs that you're tracking right now, start with what you can access easily through your systems and track what motivates you. You may want to track more regularly than monthly, and that's especially important if you're running, let's say, a new marketing campaign or you've seen market factors changing rapidly. So that just about wraps up this masterclass. Remember that KPIs measure what's important. Take into consideration your lead and lag measures. Track what's meaningful in your business depending on the size, stage of growth, whether you've got team members and what you sell. That is, whether it's a product or service business. When you have a team, ensure that you link your team members' individual KPIs to the organisational goals and objectives so that they have a connection to their work and the overall organisational success. And if nothing else, track your profit. Key performance indicators are an important part of keeping your finger on the pulse of your business. If you need support to develop your KPIs, pop a comment below and I'll be happy to provide support. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to share this or give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. I'll catch you soon.